Hi guys, it's the Petri Dish Diaries here, and today we're going to talk about cells. All organisms are made out of cells. All organisms are made of cells. Cells are very small, so large organisms contain millions of cells. Some organisms are unicellular, like yeast and bacteria, while most are multicellular. To see cells clearly, you'll need to use a microscope. The kind of microscopes used in school laboratory is called a light microscope because it shines light through the piece of animal or plant you are looking at. It uses glass lenses to magnify and focus the image. A very good light microscope can magnify about 5 to 2,000 times. To see even smaller things inside a cell, an electron microscope is used. This uses beam of electrons instead of light, and it can magnify up to 500,000 times. This means that a lot more detail can be seen inside a cell. We can see many structures more clearly, and also some structures that could not be seen with a light microscope. This is an example of a plant cell, and this is an example of an animal cell. Now let's talk about cell membrane or plasma membrane. Whatever sort of animal or plant they come from, all cells have a cell membrane on the outside. Inside the membrane is a jelly-like substance called cytoplasm, in which are found many structures called organelles. It's made out of phospholipids and proteins. It is partially permeable. A cell wall, on the other hand, is only present in the plant cell. It is mainly made of cellulose. Paper, which is made from plant cells, is also made of cellulose. It forms crisscross fibers which help protect and support the cell. It also helps retain shape. If the cell absorbs a lot of water and swells, the cell wall stops it bursting. Because of the spaces between fibers, even very large molecules are able to go through the cellulose cell wall. It is therefore said to be fully permeable. Now let's talk about the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a clear jelly. It is nearly all water. About 70% is water in many cells. It contains many substances dissolved in it, especially proteins. Many different metabolic reactions take place in the cytoplasms. Now let's talk about the vasculose. Vacuole is a small space in the cell surrounded by membrane and containing a solution. Plant cells have very large vacuoles, which contain a solution of sugars and other substances called cell sap. A full vacuole presses outwards on the rest of the cell, and it helps keep it in shape. Animal cells have much smaller membrane-bound spaces called vesicles, which may contain food or water. Now we move on to the chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are never found in animal cells, but most of the cells in green parts of the plants have them. They contain the green coloring, or pigment, called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs sunlight and prepares food for the plants through photosynthesis. Chloroplasts often contain starch grains, which have been made by photosynthesis. Animals don't have starch grains. Instead, they have glycogen granules in the cytoplasm. Now let's talk about the nucleus. The nucleus is where genetic information is stored. This helps the cell to make the right sorts of proteins. The information is kept on the chromosomes, which are inherited from the organelle's parents. The chromosomes are made out of DNA. Chromosomes are very long, but so thin that they cannot easily be seen, even using the electron microscope. However, when the cell is dividing, they become short and thick and can be seen with a good light microscope. Photographs of cells taken using an electron microscope show tiny structures that are almost invisible with a light microscope. They are called the mitochondria, which are popularly known as the powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria are found in almost all cells except for those of prokaryotes. Inside them, oxygen is used to release energy from glucose in the process called aerobic respiration. You will find more about aerobic respiration in future video. Not surprisingly, cells that use a lot of energy have a lot of mitochondria. Muscle cells, for example, are tightly packed with mitochondria. Sperm cells, which need energy to swim to the egg, and neurons, which are nerve cells, which need energy to transmit impulses, also have a large number of mitochondria. Even tinier structures than mitochondria can just be seen with an electron microscopes. They are called ribosomes. They look like tiny dots attached to a network of membranes that runs throughout the cytoplasm. This network is called the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Ribosomes may also just be scattered freely in the cytoplasm. Ribosomes are found in all types of cells. Bacteria, fungi, animals, and plants all have ribosomes in their cells. The endoplasmic reticulum, which is called the ER, can either be smooth or rough. ER having ribosomes attached to its surface are called rough endoplasmic reticulum, and ER which do not have ribosomes attached to its surface are called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. They produce proteins for the rest of the cell to function. And that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, no matter where you are, biology is all around you. The Petri Dish Diaries out.